Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rotors Automotive. Like you didn't know that already, but anyway, 2010 Nissan Altima. I want to do a brake job on it. I'm going to actually replace these rotors on the car. Figured I'd bring you along. Come on. Anyway, I'll get back to these brakes right here. What he's got obviously a brake shutter. That's why we're working on it. This has been cut once before that I know of, so I told him that I was probably not going to go ahead and cut it, but rather just go ahead and get him a new rotor. This is warped pretty bad. He says it's shaking pretty bad. Well, the 14 is a 14. Sorry, kind of in your way there, but struts on these things, they need to be replaced again. They've actually been replaced several years back. Pads are not all that bad just yet. Doesn't matter when you replace the rotors. We are going to do pads. Care what they look like, and I'll do that in a minute. Be careful we don't throw that on the ground. We'll probably have a, see what we got there, 21 maybe. Where did it go? Where did it go? No, bigger. 24. 22. Missed that one. 22 on that one. In your way again. So, recap, 14 millimeter on the caliper bolts, 22 millimeter on the big bolts, the saddle bolts, well, that one is. Not going to throw anybody under the bus or anything like that. Hardware is kind of messed up. I'll leave it at that. I know who did the brakes. Doesn't matter. Like I said, it's neither here nor there. There is no lubrication put under the hardware. If the hardware even's been replaced, it's all rusted up. We know, we all know that's not supposed to be done that way. We've got to clean that up. There's nothing was put on the back of it here, especially in our climate here. If you put a lubricant on it, it'll be just about as shiny when you're taking them back off than what it was when you first put it together. So I'm not going to film this part of it. Of course, the hardware comes off of it, and we've got to clean, as always. We're going to clean our areas here inside, lubricate, put the new hardware back on. We'll get that rust film off of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Lubricate, put the new hardware on, put the new brakes in it. That'll be ready to go. Check your pins to make sure these pins slide free, and these here do. So we can pull them, and we can inspect them like that as well. So these are nice and free. So there shouldn't be no problem with that, but we'll get this cleaned up. I'm not going to film that, like I said, load them up, and go from there. Hopefully we can see that. Even running the power wire wheel over top of it, doesn't look that good on the bottom side. Top is not as bad. That's, you know, people don't do the brakes the way they should. That would not happen. I argue that any day of the week. If you're doing them right, that there won't happen. I think I made a comment before on this. You know, most shops here in this area, unfortunately, all they do is really when they do a brake job, they basically lift the caliper up, they put brake pads on, and that's the end of it. Most don't even, a lot of them don't even cut the rotors or anything like that. You know, they don't even tell the customer, hey, I need to cut your rotors to be correct. It just is what it is. You know, I don't do that. And I will say this, I may be a little bit more expensive than the other shops that do brakes, but you know, I go through the process of cleaning my hub. I clean all the rust off of it. You know, we're going to lubricate it up. As I said many times before, fluid film a lot of times is what I use, and I like that stuff pretty good. Red grease and a rattle can, like it pretty good. I lube it up like that, and generally you should see that stuff staying on it. I mean, that should not go anywhere. There's some people that don't like to use fluid film on a caliper bracket. I've pulled them apart where I used it, and it never was a problem. Now, can that fluid film come off of there very easily? Yes. Is it as good as caliper grease? Maybe not. Don't know. It's hard for me to make that call. As I got this blue synthetic copper grease, that is what I'm using up on these. So pause it up. I got to go get my rotors and brake pads. I forgot them outside. Okay, I'm going to show you this. I hope this don't fall out on me. I generally am not a friend of this type of brake, this style of brakes. A while ago, the fingers you seen, one of them was broken off. The other one was straight out. And when I say finger, I mean this dewey right here. And what it is, it loops right there where your squealer brackets are. It loops in there, and it helps push the pads out, is what that's supposed to do. Sometimes they can be a booger to put together, but that's how you do it, how you're supposed to do it right. Both sides, same way. That's how you're supposed to do it. It helps spread the pads. I'm going to set this down real carefully. I don't want to lose it again. Like I said, these can be a booger to do. It seems like you set them down on the table, they already want to slide out on you. So that's why I said that. So kind of, you have to have a little bit of patience. This got paint on it, of course not on the inside, nothing here. We can put a little bit of lube on it. I don't think it's necessary. I got it pretty heavy over here. We'll slip that on there. Probably a good idea to go ahead and set it with a lug nut. It does tend to make it easier. All I do is I back it with a nut, with a larger nut. Not going to be too happy if it's flipping and flopping around while you're trying to get that put back together. It kind of sucks, as a matter of fact. And yes, as I always say, I normally don't do one of them at a time, but whenever I do the videos for you guys, I normally do one of them and one of them only. So, carefully put that on there so it don't slide back out on us. You just don't want to lose them brake pads again. So, there they're coming out. They're trying to come out. So, that's what I'm talking about. You kind of make sure they stay in place. Okay, it can get a little bit aggravating, but generally not a big deal. At the end of the day, we want these little fingers to be in place. We want to assemble the brakes the way they're meant to be assembled. See, it pushes out the pads. Keep that sitting there. Get the inside cleaned up on our caliper. This here is a steel piston. That's not a phenolic piston. So we are going to go ahead and lubricate both sides. A lot of times I do it regardless. Got to spread it first there. Don't get in a hurry. We'll have to spread her on up. If air gets trapped in the seal, you have to raise up on it, loosen it up a little bit, get the air out of it very carefully. That does happen sometime. I'll go ahead and lube that face up. Well, I lubed it up that time. I'll lube the back side here. And I see it all too many times. Be careful when you put them on, not to twist them like this. You twisting the hoses. I've had one just the other day again that had a twisted hose on it. So kind of want to pay attention to that part of it. Alrighty then. Well, I have no idea where I was at, what I was saying, or what was the last thing that I said. As you see, we've got the assembly together. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera off right there because I got to get this job done. I've been interrupted just now. I've had like three customers walk in on me, and that kind of put me behind a little bit. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and get this job knocked out because, well, for one, the customer needs his car back. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope it'll help somebody. Like, subscribe. Till next time.